when I ask them about their experience during the war, I'm left speechless. So there was one mother that was telling me how her 12-year-old boy had to pick up the remains of a dead baby after an explosion had that baby flying onto a tree. And this boy suffers from nightmares since that day. I met mothers that were telling me about the desperate measures that they had to take to feed their children. Now, families, particularly in the north of Gaza, had zero access to food. There was no water. And there was one mother that was saying that she was feeding her children animal feed. It was either that or they starved to death. Others only had grass to eat. And there was another mother that was telling me that when she was moving from the north to the south after receiving an evacuation order, en route, they were seeing dead bodies. And now her children, all of her children, were exposed to that. And not only that, they were seeing the dead bodies being eaten by dogs. And now the kids wet themselves. They can't control it. They're afraid of going outside. They think that there are dead people outside. But with all of those, there's just so many tragic stories and experiences of families here. They've seen things no one should ever see, but they all hang on to hope. The children here during the pause, they were so excited that the schools were going to reopen, and they were saying, we're going to rebuild Gaza, and they find the strength to smile. And all of them tell me that they love life, that they have the one life and we want to just live it.
The fact that you see children smile during that brief moment of pause and playing on whatever makeshift playgrounds they can find is something that just it sticks in the mind. What do these children tell you they fear most now?
Well, during the pause, I met some teenagers. So I spoke to a lot of teenagers during the pause, and their biggest fear was that the war would restart. Their biggest fear is that the war would resume. And it just weighs heavy that this fear is now a reality. It's happening. The war has resumed. Children are dying en masse. Gaza, I cannot tell you, I cannot begin to describe the level of need here. The situation, the humanitarian situation is catastrophic. So since the start of this month, no humanitarian aid has been entering Gaza, no commercial goods. So our local partners had done a survey to identify what the biggest needs for children were. And they found that those who live in the north of Gaza, they needed water, they needed food, and they needed shoes. But in the south of Gaza, the top three were shoes, clothes, and wheelchairs. And children with disabilities are facing huge challenges. And we're back here again. We're seeing more injured children, and we're seeing health professionals. They don't even have the bare minimum painkillers to treat the injured.
I was going to ask you about that, the state of the healthcare services there, and any support, medical support. You talk about the psychological support that these children will need for years to come. But the urgent medical care, is it there? Is it available?
Quite honestly, no. No, medical supplies are not getting into Gaza right now. There's a block in aid. Nothing has been able to get into Gaza. The medical supplies that we do have in our healthcare clinics, they will run out. They will in a matter of weeks, unless the situation changes. I am very, very scared. I am terrified. I haven't worked in a context like this. This is my first time in Gaza. I had spoken to a lot of families that were describing the fear that they had lived through during the war, 16 months of it. They lived through 16 months of the terror that I felt on March the 18th.